And that was well done. Congratulations to the Year 7 and their home teams for moving so smoothly. Congratulations on mums and dads for being able to move so quietly as well. As Mr Miller mentioned, the second part of our assembly today is just a formal welcome to the new students and families of the college, and I'll invite Mr Miller to address you again.
Said earlier, gentlemen, welcome, and it is a real pleasure to have you here today. I was just sitting up here just looking, and it's fantastic to look along that front row there. Everyone here must have new shoes on, and they look fantastic. And you look really great. The shirts look well pressed. You look like young men of St Gregory's. And when we talk about developing fine young men, I'm sure when we get to the end of Year 12, fine young men like these two will be, you will be. And one of you, or two of you, will be sitting up here in 6 years' time. To the gentleman over on the far side here, that is our Year 8 to 12 contingent, and I'm very appreciative that you've taken up the offer of coming to St Greg's. Many of these gentlemen on the far side are boarders. Our breakdown on numbers this year, just so parents know what I'm talking about, 1060 is our total population, but we have 150 boarders. Last year we only had 127 boarders, and of that we had about 99 full-time boarders. This year we have 114, 115 24/7 boarders. The others are made up of weekly, and then the extended day boarders, which is Sunday to Thursday, weekly is Sunday to Friday. And a lot of these boys have travelled from southern New South Wales to be here with us and join our community. Across the rest of the day school, we've actually got 190 boys sitting in front of us today. In Year 7, we have about 160 going into Year 8. We have 200 going into Year 9. We have about 170 going into Year 10. We have 190 going into 11. We have 160 going into Year 12. So it's a fairly big contingent. And when I talk about the new hall, we're building a new hall. It'll have 2 indoor basketball courts. And I know with 2 indoor basketball courts, I can seat 2,000 people. So we won't have to go through this ever again. But once again, gentlemen, I welcome you especially. I know coming into a new school can be difficult, and I think coming into the boarding school makes life a lot easier for you because you get to meet people the night before, and also if you've had a walk around the school, you actually know where you're going. So I'm very appreciative of the fact you've taken up the offer to come here. So I'd just like to welcome you individually to start with, and then I'll come back and I'll talk more to Year 7 about certain things with them. Just one other thing while I'm on it too, just about uniform. I know our suppliers have let us down with the college uniform shop, especially with the walk socks and also the shirts. And I must congratulate those gentlemen who have come in wearing the sports socks today, because I could imagine the excitement of getting up at 5 o'clock to get here by 8:30 would have been very difficult for some, and I'm sure Mum and Dad would have had to hear about the fact that what am I going to do? I'm wearing sports socks, I'll be the only one, and everyone will be looking at me. The gentlemen, rest assured, you look fantastic, and the walk socks are in, so we can pick them up after that, and you'll have them ready to wear on Friday. Tomorrow's sports uniform, so it won't be an issue for you. So if I can invite Mr Brennan just to call the names of the gentlemen from Year 8 through to 11, and we'll welcome them.
We'll look at holding our applause until our new boys are on stage or have been presented. Our new boys will be coming up these stairs here. Receive your certificate from Mr Miller, and then you'll head straight up the side doors there, where Mr Donahue and some students will meet you to direct you to your Year coordinators meetings. So in Year 8, Diego Bereza. And Connor Tatnell. In Year 9, Jack Alcorn, Joshua Azapati, Ian Carlisle, Daniel Vitolo, Braden Chalice, Nathan McCarthy, Jack Moon, Jack Roberts, Thomas Samuel, Joseph Stewart, Lachlan Tatnell, Sam Ballada, in Year 10, Hugh Allen, William Bottom, Anthony Landini, Declan Quinn, James Russell, and Joel Stocks. In Year 11, Jacob Arcus, Matthew Archer, George Derrick, Luke Doherty, Adam Fleming Wilkie, Patrick Foley, Mason Jacobson, Bradley Kitch, George Machado, Lane Marr, Michael Marcus, Ashley Mariness, Charles Slinger, Kyle Wyson, Kane Wyson, Christian Vondenberg, we'll put our hands together and welcome all our students in the room. Those boys will now follow staff. They'll get their ID photos taken before moving to homeroom or year group meetings.
Gentlemen, Huntington Gregory's new experience. People have gone to a lot of trouble so you could be here. I want to talk to you about a word called PACES. Start with the letter P. It's about perseverance. I want to talk about a man called Don Bradman. I'm not going through each of these letters. Don Bradman, you all know, great Australian, marvellous cricket player. And he did a lot of work to be as good as he is. When I think of one story I heard about him, they talk about the fact that he'd go out in the backyard and he had a fence, and it was made of pipes, one after another, the runs. And he'd stand there and had a golf ball, and he kept throwing it at the pipe and trying to catch up, rebounding off the pipe all the time. You can imagine how hard that would be. Like after you've done 100 of them, you'd most probably be bored anyway, because you most probably missed at least 50% or more of them. But he stuck at it, the story goes, and he got very good at it. So when we're talking about perseverance, that's the sort of thing we're talking about. We talk about the letter A, we're talking about attitude. Don Bradman obviously had a great attitude, because he couldn't have done what he did if he didn't have a good attitude. The fact that he had a positive nature, was prepared to go out and try and do that exercise and keep catching that ball continually. Then we go to the C. The C is about commitment. And again, throwing that ball, the commitment. I'm going to do it every day until I get it right. Until I'm so good in the cricket field that I can catch the ball and throw it back as fast as possible and be accurate at hitting the wickets. So the commitment side of it's very important. Then the effort. The fact that he's going to get out there and put the effort in to be successful. And that's where the S comes in. The S stands for success. Told the boys who've gone before you, the perseverance, having the right attitude, having the right commitment, putting the effort in, and you'll be very successful here at St Greg's. And what am I talking about when I say those things to you? I've already complimented you on your uniform. So you're very committed to the college just by the way you've turned up. And you've made a big effort to look good this morning. And that's what we're looking for in the classroom with you. So when you go into a classroom, you're going there to work as hard as you can to be the best you can. And if you can do that, you'll be very successful here at St Greg's. If I said to you a number, 86,400, is there anyone in front of me? Put your hand up if you know what I'm talking about. James. Beg your pardon? Very good. Excellent. There are 86,400 seconds in 24 hours. Well done, James. I'll see you later about that. That wasn't a fix either. The 86,400, that's the number of seconds in a day, gentlemen. And coming to St Greg's, yes, you're in the classroom from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. But after school, we have a co-curricular program. And you have so many opportunities in that co-curricular program to develop your talents. You might be a footballer, you might be a cricketer. You might be a person who plays a musical instrument. You might be a person who can sing and dance. You might be a public speaker, debater, someone who gets involved with the show panel or the show sheet. You might play chess and be very good at it. There are a range of activities out there for you. And you've all got talents, and you've all got to take up the opportunities here at St Greg's. As I said to you, people have gone to a lot of trouble to make sure you're here at St Greg's. As I said to you, it's a great place. You come in as boys, and when you leave here, you will leave as fine young men. That means you'll be able to go out to society and be great citizens for us. I'll leave you with that thought for the moment. Now what I'll do is I'll ask Mr Brennan to invite each one of you up so I can meet you on an individual basis.
Thank you, Mr Miller. I'll now call the Year 7 Coordinator for 2014, Mr Hartnett. Will come forward. Again, as your name is called, boys, and you are in alphabetical order, and it's been very well done by yourselves and the homeroom team. With the assistance of the homeroom team, you'll head up these stairs. Once your name has been called by Mr Hartnett, you'll be greeted, as Mr Miller mentioned, by himself, receive a certificate, straight down the stairs, and you return immediately back to your seat. Again, I'll ask if we could hold our applause until the end of each homeroom, which is approximately 27 students. I'll hand you now over to Mr Hartnett.
Thanks, Mr Brennan. Just preempt this that I haven't had too much experience with all the boys' surnames, so if I mispronounce it, I apologise, but I'll get used to it very quickly. Jacob Agu. Lachlan Barber. Elijah Brown. Liam Calcutt. Alexander Chapman. Jared Derrick. Ryan Edney. Harrison Fazia. Tyrone Gardner. Joseph Grillo. Lachlan Ahon. Heath Jenkins. Jay Kirk. Braden Lee. Cooper Martin. Jai Mills. Lachlan Nicholas. Layden Parrish. Simon Reel. Cody Sainsbury. Finn Shevlin. Lachlan Stewart. William Tan. Joshua Vaughan. Aidan Wittard. Bodie Yates. That's our homeroom A for 2014. The boys, when they leave this stage, can go around the back of the hall to get their photos straight away after they receive their certificate. That will help out greatly. So our B homeroom, Christian Alvarado. Luke Barlow. Marcus Bombardier. Reece Calderon Hosking. Alessandro Comin. Lucas Dickerson. Jacob Eljad. Joshua Fennick. Lachlan Gavin. Hayden Gunton. Kyle Wooten. Joseph Johnson. Jared Kiddo. Thomas Lewis. Hayden Martin. Jacob McLean Cawley. Matthew Mitchell. Thomas Peterson. Ricardo Robertson, Lucas Gagliani, Joel Shields, Lachlan Stajowski, Geordie Taylor, Harrison Wag, Joe Wilkes, Riley Wilson, and Zachary Zabosnik. That's our Homeroom B team for 2013. Kyle Alvarez, Ethan Bevan, Gabrielle Bondel Degani, Harrison Callahan, Cameron Cotter, Brett Dolchak, Jack Ellis, Liam Featherplace, Harrison Gilligan, Flynn Haberley, Nash Hoskin, Ryan Johnson, Daniel Court, William Limbre, Riley Martin, Joshua McMahon, Trey Mooney, Alex Pace, Mason Fomek, Nathaniel Robinson, Maxwell Scanlon, David Shipley, Joshua Stregas, Jared Taylor, Kyle Wakeham, Jack Williams, and Isaac Zagari. That's our C. James Focus. Sorry, I had one late in. Jacob Anderson, Braden Bell, Stephen Ricky, Samuel Cantwell, James Demiria, sorry. Alexander Dolores, Zachary Flynn. Jacob Gleeson. Riley Hall. Matthew Hudson. Harrison Jones. Matthew Lane. Nicholas Larker. Lachlan McGrady. Lachlan McMillan. Samuel Morris. Blake Pace. Alex Pipicello. Angus Rochester. Shade Scott. Peter Sinchik. Harrison Stratton. Joey Tejada. Samuel Rapper. Jack Woodland. And Liam Zammett. That's our homeroom D. Isaiah Antola. Jai Bell. Eric Brazel. Daniel Brennan. Benjamin Cariotti. Carlin Dean. Max Donovan. Lawson Eva. Daniel Formosa. David Gussain. Cooper Hammond. Brendan Jacobs. Timothy Connor. Ryan Lasker. Joshua Lynch. Jordan McGrath. Nicholas McNeil. Joshua Morrison. Corey Pace. James Pratt. Nathan Rolt. Hamish Singh. Lewis Sultana. Jerome Tavadi. Jamie Warwick. Ryan Woods. And Dominic Zappia. That is our homeroom B for 2014. Adrian Akuri. Jan Michael Barretto. Anthony Hooker. Brendan Kavanagh. Ethan DeBono. Ryan Duza. Yaron Fair Townsend. Samuel Gould, Daniel Hand, Jalen Jackat, Daniel Kelly, Lachlan Kennedy, Ryan Laverty, Corey McCready, Connor McIntosh, Tom Meredith, Elijah Moss, Matthew Pace, Nathan Price, Asher Ryan, Michael Sergi, Joshua Sloboda, Hayden Sutton, Joel Truman, David Watson, Declan Ray, and Jared Zapier make our homeroom F for 2014. Okay, Christian Almareco. Bo Atkins. Liam Bacopoulos. Ethan Bosnich. Jack Burns. Thomas Chanter. Liam Delves. Benjamin de Zeppelin. Adam Forberg. Alex Spray. Dylan Green. Lucas Green. Jordan Harrington. Angus Jeffries Wilson. Thomas Kingley. Cameron Lawrence. Christian Malone. Jared McKell Dorset. Zach Mills. Bailey Mason. Nicholas Parr. Elijah Rue. Billy Ryan. Matthew Shanley. Jackson Swain. Anthony Ursino. Brandon Webster Mansfield. And Hayden Wolf. That's our homeroom G for 2004. That concludes the homerooms and the presentations of the welcoming certificate. Just while I have parents here, tomorrow we have sport, and that means all day they're in sports uniform, but it also means we're going to the pool. That means boys will be getting in and out of clothes, and they all look the same. So if anyone can make sure, everyone could make sure that their clothing is labelled, because we have so many shirts the same, so many sizes the same. I don't want them being mixed up in the first week and losing things. So if they could just make sure everything they bring tomorrow is labelled, because we will try to keep them individual, but things do get moved. And last year, our first week was horrendous for losing clothes or misplacing them. Thank you for coming, and I'll hand you back over to Mr. Brennan.
That was very impressive, gentlemen. A number of you who came up to shake my hand and look at me when I said good morning to you. And the number who had a smile on their face, very impressive. So well done on that. I said to you, it's 86,400 seconds in the day. We've just lost 32,400. Not we've lost them, because they're gone. You don't get them back. So I won't hold you up any further. I'll pass you over to Mr. Brennan, so we don't waste any more of those seconds.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. I do have to use a few more, sorry. But I guess the main thing for the parents whilst they are here, just the arrangements again for this afternoon. The boys will be at the bus bays from 2:15, and the plan would be that you pull into the bus bay. I'll be there with other staff. Your sons will be seated in lines. They'll spot your car, so please don't pick up a hire car today or anything like that. Turn up in your vehicle, your son will spot you, and he'll stand up, and we'll try and move you around the roundabout and back out again. We just want to avoid having car chaos this afternoon with everybody trying to do that. If you arrive before 2:15, your sons will be engaged until that time. Please feel free to park at the farm, and then at 2:15, wander yourself over as you see us starting to move. Alternatively, if you can't be here before 2:40, again we'd ask that you park at the farm, because the buses will start to need the bus bays by then. If your son has an older brother and he's normally catching the bus, your older brother will be collecting him from the bus bays. The staff will be taking the boys there. If your son has an older brother and he normally gets collected from the pickup zone, that will continue as normal. And your elder son will be coming down to collect the Year 7 boy and take him up there for departure at 3:05. Hopefully that's clear. If there are any questions though, I'd love you to come and speak to one of the staff members about arrangements this afternoon, just to make sure that it's a wonderful start for your boys. In a moment I'll be inviting our Year 7 boys to depart, and again, as Mr. Miller mentioned earlier, there is a morning tea held in our Donovan Centre. For those who aren't sure where that is, we're heading out the doors here to the white building across the lawns. Again, all family are very, very warmly invited to attend that morning tea. The boys, you'll be going with Mr. Hartnett. You won't be coming to the morning tea. You'll have an opportunity for your own morning tea as time permits. So I'll invite, first of all, the students, if they'd like to leave, and I'll invite them to go homeroom at a time. So Mr. Rance, if your homeroom would like to leave out the side doors there. Mr. Rays, if you'd like to have your boys out the side doors there. Parents, as I said, this will take just a couple of minutes to have the students move, so they're comfortable, and then we'll all head over for a cup of tea. Thank you very much.